Pray for me.
Say bye, Mom. Oh, what?
Okay, bye guys.
What's that?
Bye, Angie.
Bye. Hold on, what's the say?
Oh, never mind.
Wait, what's the say?
I got it.
Pray for me and Virgil. Hey, Virgil. Pray for me and Virgil.
Yeah, definitely.
Pray for you and John and Virgil. Okay, so John and Virgil. What other prayer requests?
And pray for Mom.
And Mom.
Okay. Got my thing from Sunday here, so it's got the prayer
What is that?
requests. It's the program from last Sunday's service.
Program.
We have
You
a choice
missed
of park
those?
like that. We have a choice of park like that. We have a choice of park like that. When?
Next Sunday. Not
Next
this Sunday, but the 22nd.
Yeah.
22nd, John.
And this later August had the pictures again in August. Last day of August.
We're trying to get it together now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We might have it the first week of September, but it depends on everybody's schedule. So keep, of course, Pastor in your prayers so that he feels better. He just hasn't been feeling well. He had a sinus infection, and then his ulcers kind of were acting up. And
He last night. He was on last night.
yeah, he was there last night. He did a great job, but he gets tired. So
I see him Saturday for.
yeah, he'll be there Saturday. And then Sister Harriet Gray.
Oh, Harriet.
She just got back. Yeah. And then Deacon Duncan, Teresa and Larry Newsom. Hold on.
Quiet.
And Reverend Dr. Frederick Brown. Remember, he was one of our pastors that spoke at both of our revivals.
Oh,
Yeah.
His mother passed away, so we've been praying for him.
Yeah.
And Pastor Keith Williams, who is his pastor and was also on our revivals, his mother passed away too.
I see the dog stereo.
So we're praying for them.
Wow.
Yeah, all the fires happen. All the fires.
Yeah, the fires and the virus. Those are the two big things we've got going on here right now.
Smelling it.
What?
Dog smelling the stuff.
Oh, for goodness sake. Cinnamon, get out of there.
Cinnamon.
What are you doing?
You tell her, George. I don't
You
know what
smell.
she's doing. Where'd she go? Hold on.
You do that every
Oh,
time.
you're busted. You're
Hey,
busted.
baby.
Busted.
Hey, baby.
Go for such a dog.
Hey, baby.
Get out.
No, they're crazy dogs. They are so cute. They would love you guys. They're really sweet. They're just very naughty.
Baby.
When you said hi, you. Try behind you.
She is, and Tubby's right next to me. You can't see him.
Oh, Tabby.
You'll see him. I'm sure they'll be running around during our Bible study. Okay.
I gained fans.
You got some friends?
No, I gained fans.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry. My ears don't work so good sometimes. Okay. So I'm going to bring up the scripture and.
Oh, Tabby.
And cinnamon.
How did you know that was cinnamon, Tanaya? You got good ears. That was cinnamon.
Oh my God, goody.
Cinnamon.
That's face sucking. Ha
Yeah, Tubby's still right next to me. He doesn't want to miss anything.
Hey, that's my name.
What?
That's my name.
Yes, it is. Your name is in there. So 1 Samuel
And I got my Bible.
12:24. Yes.
I got
awesome.
my Bible.
Good.
And
All right. So you want to read our scripture today? Faith?
Who, me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
4.
Fear.
Fear the Lord and worship him faithfully.
Faithfully. Good job. Woohoo.
Faithfully.
Oh, nice, babe.
Way to
Off
go.
to a
Really good, hon.
start. And then Let me make this a little, let me bring it down a little bit.
Sonny was
Anaya?
fired up. Her pastor was fired up Sunday.
John,
He
quiet.
really
Quiet
was. You're
down.
right. He was fired up.
Yeah.
All right, Tanaya, the Lord's Prayer.
Yes.
We're ready. Go for it.
Okay, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. We have from evil, but thine is the kingdom, power, and glory forever. Amen.
Amen. Good
Yeah.
job.
Okay.
Praise God.
All right, so we are still learning about Daniel.
Yeah.
And last week we talked about the fasting that they did for 10 days. Remember, we talked about how to keep your body clean and healthy, and a good place for the Holy Spirit doesn't want to come into a big bunch of junk food, right?
Ew.
Oh my goodness. Good food.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
week we are going to talk about
Yeah.
how Daniel and his friends worshiped only the one true God, right?
Yeah.
And so this is about worshiping God only and not idols. So who can tell me kind of what an idol is?
It's like a thing you don't worship an idol.
You don't, but sometimes what is an idol? Why do we call it an idol, and why is it that God doesn't want us to worship idols?
Because it's a statue.
I
That's
like,
true.
I got Moses, the people went to hell.
Yeah, Moses.
Oh my. Okay, so an idol is anything that you put before God or takes more of your time or to you is more important than God, right?
Yeah, that's sinning.
Yeah.
That's sinning. That's right. And that is one of the commandments, not to worship any God, but the true God.
That
And
was what-
so
that was in
sometimes
Moses.
idols, that's right. So sometimes idols can be money, they can be video games, they can be celebrities, they can be anything that takes your time away from God, and that you spend more time doing and worshiping than spending time with God, right? So what else do you think could be an idol?
Remember, Moses put the 10 Commandments, put the idol and put the people in the hell.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's true. So what other things? Sometimes our jobs can become our idols.
Like work.
What was that?
Work.
Work,
Same
yes.
work.
Sometimes work can become our idols. That's very true. They can become like our gods because we're spending all of our time there and not with God. So good. So we're going to actually just get right into our scripture reading. We got 30 verses, so we're going to get into it right away. So I know you guys have probably remembered about King Nebuchadnezzar and the golden statue and then the fiery furnace. So that's kind of what we're reading about today.
That wasn't Moses.
This one's not so much about Moses. This one's about Daniel and remember the Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego? Yeah. We're reading about them today. So Tanaya, you want to split it up? It's 30 verses. You want to read 15 and I'll read 15?
Yeah,
Okay, so go to Daniel, the book of Daniel, and we're gonna
Daniel.
Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel.
All right, so we're gonna wait for Faith because Angie's gonna help her find Daniel.
What chapel?
Daniel, D-A-N.
Oh,
I
made.
Where's Daniel?
Daniel,
Come in here.
I made Daniel. What chapel?
Wow.
Chapter 3, John. Daniel's in the Old Testament,
Help.
Faith.
Yeah, this one.
Help me.
It's okay. So it's spelled D-A-N-I-E-L. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
Babes, have yelling.
Awesome. Good job. She's
Sit
all right.
down.
She's just getting frustrated, George. It's okay. Sometimes we get like that when we're frustrated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I get frustrated, especially with these dogs, and I go, ah!
Yeah.
I
Okay,
do.
good
I'm only human. I get frustrated too.
See your dog.
Human.
We have to see your dog.
What Daniel?
Daniel chapter 3, hun. Chapter 3.
See your
Come
dog.
on, take a food, hun.
Like his tail.
You see her tail, that's Cinnamon. What are you doing? Get out of there.
Oh man, goodness.
She smells
Really?
something.
She's trying to find something to eat, but there's nothing to eat in here. She's always looking for something to eat.
Where's the other dog?
Yeah.
Tubby, he's still right next to me. He hasn't moved.
Baby.
Want to
He's
listen
so
to the Bible? Want to listen to the Bible?
He really does. He likes being here with everybody. All right, did you
What's that
find it,
noise?
Faith? Did you get it?
It's
Yeah.
right here, Faith.
It's right here,
Okay,
hun.
good. Awesome job. All right. I know it can be frustrating sometimes, but we got it. You did a good job. All right, Tanaya, you want to start or do you want me to start?
I want to start.
Okay, so start at Daniel chapter 3, start at verse 1 and then all the way through verse 15. I'll let you.
Oh, you mean right here, Nebuchadnezzar?
Yes.
Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits, and its width
What's that noise?
I don't know. Keep going, Tanaya.
and its width 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dara, province of Babylon. And King
Sorry, go ahead. I'm going to mute mine so that you don't hear them. Keep going. You're doing great.
Okay, and King Nebuchadnezzar sent word to gather together the satrap and the administrators, the governors, the counselors, the treasurers, the judges, and
Magistrates.
magistrates, and all the officials of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which King Hazar had set up. So the satrap, the administrators, the governors, the counselors, the treasurers and the judges and magistrates, and all of the officials of the provinces gathered together for the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar has set up, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up, and then herald, what is that word?
Harold is right. That was right.
Cried aloud to you is commanded, all peoples, nations, and languages. That is the time you hear the sound of the horn, flute, harp, lyre, and psaltery, and symphony with all kinds of music. all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up, and whoever doesn't fall down and worship that should be cast immediately into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. So at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the horn, flute, harp, and lyre, in sympathy with all kinds of music, all the people, nations, and languages fell down, worship the gold image which Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Therefore, at that certain
Does it say astrologers? That's what mine says, but I don't know if that's what yours says.
no, mine said, can't pronounce that word.
Spell it for me.
Chaldeans.
Chaldeans.
Chaldeans come forward and accused the Jews. They spoke, said to Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. You, O king, I made a decree that everyone hears the sound of the horn, flute, harp, lyre, and psaltery, in a sympathy with all kinds of music, shall fell down and worship the gold image. Whoever does not fall down and worship shall be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom you have set over the affairs of the province of Babylon.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, these men, O king, have not paid to do regard to you. They do not serve your God or worship the gold image which you have set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar spoke, saying to it's a true Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Keep going. Are you stuck on a word?
No, I'm not.
Okay, keep going. You're almost there. You're going to read all the way through 15, and then I'll read 16 through 30.
Okay.
Can you read 15 or you want me to read it?
I can read 15.
Okay, go ahead.
Now you are ready at the time to hear the horn, the sound of the horn, flute, harp, and lyre. Psaltery and sympathy, all kinds of music that I fell down and worshiped the golden image which I have made good. But if you do not worship, you'll be cast immediately in the midst of the fiery furnace. and who is God will deliver you from my hand.
Okay, good job. All right, so far, this king Nebuchadnezzar made this golden image, this statue, and it was 90 feet high and 9 feet wide.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he wanted all these people to worship. They heard the music and all these people were there. They were to fall down on their knees and worship this thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that if they didn't do that and worship the gods and worship these idols, that they would be thrown in a fiery furnace. So here comes Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, who were not going to do that. They weren't going to worship those idols or those gods. Why do you think? Who do you think they worshiped?
They worship the golden image.
No, not those three.
No.
Nebuchadnezzar was really angry with them because they wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
Because they worshiped who? The same one we worship. God. Our God, right?
Yeah.
And they know that God says, do not worship any other gods besides me and no idols, right? So
Yeah.
they were obeying God, not this king. And the king was getting really angry. Remember how we learned a couple weeks ago about when you are really full of yourself? Remember that one king? He was really kind of full of himself and thought he was so wonderful and didn't thank God for everything that he had, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, he paid for that. And so Nebuchadnezzar was kind of the same way. He wanted people to worship him and not God. So that's kind of where we are. So I'm going to keep on going. So he was threatening to put them in the fiery furnace. And he says, then what God will be able to rescue you from my hand? So he's really challenging God, isn't he? Do we want to do that?
No.
No, we do not. Okay, so I'm going to read the rest of it and we'll find out what happens. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to save us from it. He will rescue us from your hand, O king. But even if he does not, we want you to know, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up." They are really obedient and loyal to God, aren't they? Then Nebuchadnezzar was furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and his attitude toward them changed. He ordered the furnace heated 7 times hotter than usual and commanded some of the strongest soldiers in his army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them into the blazing furnace. So these men, wearing their robes, trousers, turbans, and other clothes, were bound and thrown into the blazing furnace. The king's command was so urgent and the furnace so hot that the flames of the fire killed the soldiers who took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and these 3 men, firmly tied, fell into the blazing furnace. Then King Nebuchadnezzar leaped to his feet in amazement and asked his advisors, "Weren't there 3 men that we tied up and threw into the fire?" They replied, "Certainly, O king." Said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods." Nebuchadnezzar then approached the opening of the blazing furnace and shouted, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out, come here." So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the fire, and the satraps, prefects, governors, and royal advisors crowded around them. They saw that the fire had not harmed their bodies, nor was a hair of their heads singed. Their robes were not scorched, and there was no smell of fire on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar said, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servants. They trusted in him and defied the king's command and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship any god except their own God. Therefore, I decree that the people of any nation or language who say anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego will be cut into pieces and their houses be turned into piles of rubble, for no other God can save in this way." Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Wow.
Oh, wow.
So that fire, he was so mad. He said he wanted that fire turned up even 7 times hotter than it normally was. And the people that brought them up there to the fire, they got killed by the fire. But Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego did not, right? And even though there was 3 of them, the king saw 4. Who do you think was that 4th one in there?
God?
Jesus. He said he looks like the son of a god. And
That's
Jesus,
Jesus.
that's right. That was
Jesus.
Jesus in that fire, boy. Woo!
Jesus is God.
That's right, John. Jesus is
Yeah.
God. So my goodness. So that's kind of what, so they were willing to give up their lives to obey God and to follow God, right?
Right.
He said, "There's no way, I don't care what you do, even whether God rescues us from that fire or he doesn't, we are not worshiping your gods or your idols. We only worship our own true God." And in the end, King Nebuchadnezzar came out and was praising God. He said, this is the Lord God. What did he say exactly? He said, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego." So he was acknowledging Lord as God, right?
Yeah.
Because he saw what he could do. He saw what he did. And only God can do that. Only God can save in this way. And no one else, no other God, no idol, no nothing, no piece of gold or wood is going to save you from anything. So we are going to read this part here and then do our workbook. So what do you think of that? If anybody would tell you to do something that you know God is not okay with, what would you say? What would you do? What if they said, "You need to bow down to me and worship me"? What would you say?
No.
No,
And
no,
why?
no.
Why would you say, why would you tell them? And then what if they said, "Why not"?
Hmm.
We're in the middle of Bible class.
That was Mom.
Oh,
That's my mom.
Oh,
they know.
What?
I only worship God,
Yeah, God.
right? I only worship God. I don't worship any other gods. I don't worship idols. I don't do any of that.
Where Mom want now?
Huh?
Mom's why is
Well,
Bonnie?
that's okay. All right. So we're going to read this. Faith, do you want to read this part?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am the great king
That's a tough one.
Nabonidus
Good.
of Babylon.
Good.
Babylon, I am the greatest king on earth. I have
Conquered.
conquered many people. I am
Worthy.
worthy of
Honor.
honor,
Respect.
respect, and worship. I am like a god. I made a hug.
Huge.
I made a huge go-
Golden.
golden
Statue.
statue. I
Ordered.
ordered everyone to bow and worship my
Statue.
statue. Every time they
Heard.
heard music, everyone who did not would be
Thrown.
thrown into a
Blazing.
blazing
Furnace. Good.
furnace of fire. The magic
Music.
sound.
The music sounded.
The music sounded everyone
Bowed.
bowed and worshipped my
Statue.
statue. Will a mutt
Almost.
almost everyone rushed
Shadrach.
Shabrash Mud
Stack.
Mac
Stack.
what?
Meshach.
Meshach and
Abednego.
Abednego did not. I ordered
Good.
Sirach,
Mhm.
Meshach,
Good.
Meshach, and a Butto to stand before me. They were my trusted
servant. Let me bring this up a little bit. Hold on. Okay, right here. I gave
them one more chance to at their
Nope, up here.
one more chance to worship my
Statue.
I was as
astonished
at their reply,
Good.
reply, our God can
Rescue.
rescue us from the
Blazing.
blazer
Furnace. Furnace.
furnace. They said he can rescue us from. Wait, where am I?
Right here.
Oh, your power, but even if he does not
Rescue.
rescue us, we will not serve your gods or worship your
Statue.
statue. I was furious. How dare someone
Refuse.
someone refuse me? I
Ordered.
ordered servants to hurt the
Heat.
furnace.
Heat the furnace.
Heat the furnace.
Hotter.
Than ever before. I is
Ordered. Guards.
to
Tie.
up servant.
Shadrach.
Tie up Shadrach,
Meshach.
Meshach, and Abednego,
Good.
and throw them into the fire. The fire was so hot it killed the guards who
Carried. Shadrach. Good.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Okay.
But when I looked into the fire, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were
Safe. Good.
safe. They were walking around in the fire with a
Fourth
man. So rash, much as Abednego come out, I
yelled.
yelled, not a hair on their hands was
Burned.
burned. They did not even smell like snake,
Smell like smoke. Good.
smell like smoke.
All right, let me see if there's a little more to this. Oh, very little. Praise.
What?
Praise.
Praised to your God. I
Exclaim.
exclaimed, no God is like him. You to
Trust.
trust him. You rocked,
Risked.
you risked your lives to worship only him. Never again will everyone in my kingdom say everything bad about your God.
Good job. Awesome.
Oh, my. Hey, you look good, hon.
Way to go.
Awesome. All right, so that's what our Bible verse for today said that Faith read at the beginning. Fear the Lord and worship him faithfully, which is what those three did, didn't they? All
Yeah.
right, this says, why risk it? Why did Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego risk being thrown into the fire? Underline the correct answer, cross through the wrong answers. Did they risk it because they liked to stir up trouble?
Yes.
That's why they risked the fire? Because they
No.
liked trouble?
No.
No.
They worshiped the only one true God?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is Jesus Christ.
So it wasn't because they wanted to die in the fire.
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
No, they didn't, but they would have.
God was right.
Yeah, God.
Right.
Yeah.
Always. All right, the Bible and life. Daniel's friends did not let the fear of death stop them from worshiping only the one true God. Is there anything that keeps you from worshiping God? Nope, not me.
listening.
Not me.
Listening?
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, maybe sometimes, huh? We worship in different ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes we get distracted. Okay, what is this thing on my, there we go. Okay. Oh, I had something popping up on my screen, but I got out of it. All right, so this is wcalled Wacky Worship.
Yes,
Who wants to read? Tanaya, do you want to read the story?
Yes.
Okay.
I can do it. Okay. Huh? Okay. Beverly loves to play video games. She grabbed her game at player as soon as she woke up every morning, which it was the last thing she went
Did.
huh?
Right here. It was the last thing she did.
Did before going to bed. She played games at her work too. Playing games kept Beverly from getting anything done on time. One night, Mrs. Joy
Uh-huh.
came in to see Beverly and dressed in a white coat. She wore a whoa,
That's a big one. Stethoscope.
stethoscope, just like
a doctor. Beverly giggled. Why? What are you doing? She asked. Mrs. Joy shook her head sadly. It's worse than I suspected or suspense.
Expected, you were right the first time.
It was a terrible case of wacky worship. Huh?
Keep going. That sounded funny. A case of wacky worship.
Beverly looked surprised. What is wacky worship? Mrs. Joy looked sad. It's a terrible, terrible
Disease.
disease and affects everything you do, including what you John,
John, quiet.
read here.
John, quiet.
Including, keep going. Good job.
What you worship, you got it when you chose to do something. Something instead of worshiping God. Beverly, I think you have put playing video games in the place of true worshiping God. Beverly knew Mrs. Joy was right. He handed, huh?
Keep going.
Handed her game player to Mrs. Joy. Was she
Can
keep this for me for a little while? Beverly picked up the Bible. I have some true worshiping to do.
Good job, Tanaya. Okay.
Good.
Oh yeah, that's in a case where Beverly got so involved in her video games, she wasn't worshiping God. Her God became those video games, right?
Yeah.
And that can happen sometimes. Once in a while, that can actually happen.
Yep.
A lot of people that do that, or their phone, they can't live without their phone all the time, or their computer, or their tablet, or
Oh, yeah. My tablet.
Your tablet.
Yes.
Yes.
like an iPad, tablet kind of thing.
RTV
iPad.
Yeah. All right. So
TV.
George, what's that, Faith?
and TV.
You say
And TV. That's true. That's very true. All right. George, you want to read this?
Go ahead, George.
Grace.
And
Do you see where my thing is? Do you want me to make it a little bigger?
yeah, it's bigger.
Make it bigger? Okay. There we go.
Okay.
No, I
There we go. And well, luck that keep you from up and done if you got it.
Good job. Okay, it says trace around any block that keeps you from worshiping God as you should. And I'm not a very good tracer, so John knows. All right. So would embarrassment keep you from worshiping God as you should?
No.
Yeah, some people are
Mm.
embarrassed. Yeah. Sometimes people are embarrassed, like depending on where they
Not when they
are.
stare at you. When they
Huh?
stare at you.
Yeah, people might stare at you, huh? But
Yeah.
got to get to that point where God's not embarrassed by you. You shouldn't be embarrassed by him.
Oh,
We
oh
slob.
boy.
All right.
We-
How about other activities on church day?
Oh,
Ooh, like
yeah.
let's say there was
Bible study.
Thursday.
no, I mean they're talking about like
Bible
if you
study.
wanted to go to a baseball game instead of going to church because it was on a Sunday. Could
Y'all
that
go to church.
Hey.
that
Go
could keep you from worshiping, right?
Yeah, I gotta go to
So,
church.
yeah, or if you go to the movies
I like
instead of going to church.
Faithful.
We
Right.
are it's sloppy.
I know it's sloppy. I'm sorry. I try. I'm not very good at
Yeah.
that. I'm good at other.
Perfect.
All right. How about staying up late the night before church? Oh boy. Yes.
Yeah, come on, man.
That could definitely keep you from worshiping. Oops, as you should. I
I
really
like
messed that
to
one up.
play.
Wait, Weird does that. Pastor.
Oh,
I like to.
oh my goodness.
You do that in the past.
Sometimes. Okay. How about if there's rules against public prayer? Wow.
Oh, wow.
Prayer.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
sometimes there's rules
Yeah.
in certain places that
Like
say you can't pray out loud, right? Couldn't that
Like
keep you from
like in church.
Yeah, like a church.
well, we can pray in church, but certain
Yeah.
places and other
Yeah.
countries, yeah, they can't. So that could
Well, like
I mean you
in,
could pray quietly,
Yeah.
but you know,
like,
I pray
Africa-
loud.
Like in Africa.
Africa.
yeah, that's very true. There's some places or the Middle East where they would get killed for worshiping Jesus or believing or
Like
worshiping.
it, yeah, like it, Africa can't do that. Africa.
Africa.
Risk their lives.
Oh, wow.
How about being too busy for a daily quiet time?
What?
That
What
could
is
What is that?
so if you're too busy doing other things,
Like
you're not going to
tablet.
spend that time with God, that daily quiet
Like
time with
TikTok.
God. What? Like TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah,
some
TikTok.
people are on TikTok or some people are on Facebook or
Watching TV.
Instagram or watching TV. That's right.
Or Twitter.
Or Twitter.
like
That's
TikTok.
very true.
Or Facebook.
Compromising godly values. So
Yeah, or
when you-
Facebook.
if you
Or
lie or if you do stuff that just is not godly, right? If you treat
Yeah.
someone badly, so that will also keep you from worshiping God. So all of these blocks could keep you from worshiping God. Oh my goodness, why do they make me trace things? I
don't know.
don't
We-
either, Tanaya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way, that way did it right.
What?
That
You did that one right.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. Thank you. All right. Oh, look at that. All right. So that's all
Oh,
stuff
boy.
you can do during the week if you want to. It's all, I think it's all out of First Samuel.
What are you gonna pray?
Samuel.
It
Yeah.
is. Okay. So tell me one thing you learned or remembered from tonight. Let's start with George. What's one thing you remember from the lesson or that you learned?
About Jesus.
What did you say?
About Jesus.
What did he say, Tanaya?
Jesus.
He's saying about Jesus.
Oh, that he was in the fire with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure was. Tanaya, what about you?
I
What is that about you?
learned about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
You learned about Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, huh? And they were very faithful to God, weren't they?
They were faithful to God.
They
Yeah.
sure will. They sure were. Faith, what about you?
Where they got killed in the fire.
Burn.
The soldiers?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
No,
then
the guard.
the guards, the people that brought the boys up there, but the boys didn't, right? But they did. That's right, they
Yeah.
did. And John, what about you?
You don't to the aisle.
They did. They worshipped idols, those other people, huh?
Yeah, how about you, Leah?
You know, those three boys were the only three that would stand up for what they knew was right, and everybody else was so scared of that king that
Yeah.
they bowed down and worshipped that idol, that big statue. And so I love how they stood up for God, and they weren't going to do something just because everybody else was doing it. That they, and look how God blessed them, and God saved them and from death, and so you have to stand up for what is right, and you can't just do something because everybody else is doing it and it's wrong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love their faithfulness. I think that is so amazing, and God will always bless you for obeying him and being faithful to him.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So who is going to pray us out? You guys did such a great job tonight. Who's going to pray us out?
Me.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, George.
Lord, Lord, pray for me. Everything to get over. And get back to church and everything. Amen.
Amen. That was wonderful.
Amen.
Hey, look at that. Now these two are sleeping. Of course, now they're sleeping because the study's over.
Wow.
Yeah, one's on this side and one's on this side.
I have school tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. Well, have a great day tomorrow. At least you only had 2 days of school this week, huh?
Yeah,
Yep.
we start on a Thursday.
Yeah,
That's weird.
that is sort of weird. I agree. All right, we'll have a great day at school tomorrow, and you guys have a wonderful rest of the week, and we'll see you on Saturday for boot camp. All right, you
Yeah.
guys have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.